You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
All right. Well, good morning, Jammers. Welcome to Jams and Coffee. I am your host, Brad Brock. Man, oh man. No morning would be complete without a complete failure of electronic equipment here at the lounge. Man. Still having problems. I've been working on this since I got in here and fired everything up. But hopefully you guys can hear me and see me. And that's really what's important out there. I appreciate you tuning in on YouTube and listening in on the LIVE365 Radio App. Available anywhere you get your apps on JNC Radio. Appreciate you tuning in on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Oh, Pam, thank you so much for letting me know that you could hear. Yeah, it's never a dull moment. A lot of moving parts, and I'm all by myself here to address them, the issues as they arise. But that's okay. We're here. We made it. It's I think we'll at the very least be able to limp through this until until we're done. And then I can really dive into it and get it sorted out. Man, looking out the window, it looked a little ominous this morning, but it looks like it's clearing up. It's gonna be nice out there. I usually get my weather report from WPTV news outlet, but they have not updated their weather report yet. As soon as that comes in, I will give you the lowdown on Treasure Coast weather. Not that affects Pam and Philip up there in Tennessee, but I hear that it's hot. It's hot up there, all the way from Tennessee all the way up to New England area. Really, really hot, man. This heat wave. You know, in Florida, we're built for this kind of weather. I was watching a national news outlet yesterday. And they were saying that in Maine and areas of the like, we're experiencing a heat wave, 90 degrees, 93 degrees, and while I am completely sympathetic to that situation, but we deal with 90 degree plus weather for the better part of 6 months, I imagine. I mean, we'll have temperatures in the 90s all the way into the end of October, maybe even into November. We're just built. We're just built for that kind of weather down here. Florida natives and longtime transplants alike, we become accustomed. We become accustomed to the heat. I believe certainly any modern home, I say modern within the last 100 years really, has air conditioning of some capacity. And those that don't have quite a few window shakers, keep things cool. We believe wholeheartedly in the air-conditioned world here, down here in Florida. At least in the southern area of Florida. I imagine it gets a little cooler as you get out towards the Georgia line. But yeah, we do. We like it hot outside, and we like it very cold inside. So, but yeah, you guys up there in Tennessee, let me know what the weather's like out there. Although it may be erroneous for us down here, I like to see how the other half lives. I like to see what's going on weather-wise outside of Florida. It's good. Some interesting national days today. We'll go through them. And I'll save the best for last, of course. Just so you know, the JNC hotline is open. 772-888-1596 if you want to call in and harass me or have anything to add to what we may be talking about. First on the list here is it's Agent Orange Awareness Day. Those of you that are old enough to remember the Vietnam War, those of you that are old enough to have read about it in history books, on August 10th each year, Agent Orange Awareness Day provides information regarding the effects of Agent Orange. It also serves as a reminder of the lasting damage a single decision could cause. In the early 1960s, Americans used the herbicide in Vietnam to clear thick foliage from battlegrounds to eliminate the enemy's protective ground cover. Those exposed to the chemical would suffer a wide range of negative medical effects, including type 2 diabetes, Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, leukemia, multiple myeloma, Parkinson's disease, prostate cancer, respiratory cancer, and soft tissue sarcoma. Among others, the use of Agent Orange impacted U.S. troops and the Vietnamese troops and civilians. It cost hundreds of thousands of lives and continues to impact survivors today. The U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs provides a registry to help veterans and their families receive treatment. Those with suspected exposure can receive a free exam from Veterans Affairs. So how do you observe Agent Orange Awareness Day? Well, the observance encourages us to support those who have been impacted by the use of Agent Orange and to also learn from its use, most importantly. There are several ways to participate in the day. Learn more about the effects of Agent Orange. Visit a Vietnam memorial. Attend a memorial ceremony. Light a candle in honor of those that have died as a result of Agent Orange. And support a military or veterans organization. So, yeah. I have some friends, myself, that were impacted back in the Vietnam era by Agent Orange. Philip in with his irrelevant traffic and weather report. It's hot and humid. Daily pop-up scattered thunderstorms. We do have a cold front coming our way, and that'll give us the upper 50s overnight and 80s in the weekend. That's up in Tennessee. And, yeah, first part of that report sounded a lot like Florida there, Philip. Pam said my friend's husband is suffering from the effects of Agent Orange. And just recently, she said for a few years now. Yeah, it's nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. It's amazing the things that come out about stuff that we would use daily, even back with the Roundup, the industrial Roundup that was used on many agricultural crops, really affecting the workers that worked with it every day. So just be careful out there, if it's, while it's okay to trust the experts, I suppose, you should also learn to trust your gut, too. If something seems off, you should maybe walk the other way. I don't know. Also today is National Connecticut Day, talking about the New England area. In 2017, the National Day calendar began celebrating each state in the order they entered the Union, starting the week of Independence Day and ending with Hawaii. Today, the National Day calendar decided to celebrate Connecticut, woven into the fabric of the state's historic landscape by revolutionaries, innovators, and philosophers. On August 10th, National Connecticut Day recognizes the contributions of the fifth state to join the United States of America. Like other colonies of the region, the Dutch first explored and founded trading posts in Connecticut. In 1633, Puritans from Massachusetts established the first permanent settlement. From the outset, the industry established a means to prosperity in the colony. Production of brass buttons and munitions placed the colony in a position to later supply the Revolutionary Army. The colonial governor of Connecticut, Jonathan Trumbull, was the only governor who supported independence. All three Connecticut delegates to the First Continental Congress continued their representation of the colony at the Second Congress and signed the Declaration of Independence. How about that? Happy National Day, Connecticut. It's National Shapewear Day. What does that you mean, or are you saying? Well, I'll tell you. National Shapewear Day, August 10th, celebrates the history, current trends, and continued use and evolution of body-shaping garments. Ooh, how nice. The day recognizes what has been a long-standing, important, and at times essential article of clothing, building confidence and poise for centuries. The history of shapewear parallels the development of clothed civilization as far back as Greek and Roman times. Evidence exists from archaeological drawings depicting women in corset-like garments. However, the 16th century corsets and shaping undergarments ascended to the status of required fashion. Then, royalty typically led the trends and current style of the era. Many changes and shifts in clothing fashion accompanied the popular corset, perhaps the most recognizable item in a woman's ensemble. And so on and so forth into today's shapewear. Happy Shapewear Day. Here's a delicious one. You're going to need that shapewear if you indulge in our next national day. It's National S'mores Day. It recognizes the most popular campfire treat. Millions of people of all ages love this gooey, toasted treat. S'mores, of course, consist of a roasted marshmallow, layer of chocolate bar sandwiched between two pieces of graham cracker. The origin of this tasty snack is credited to the entrepreneur Alec Barnum. However, the first recorded version of the recipe can be found in the 1927 publication of Tramping and Trailing with the Girl Scouts. Even though the Girl Scouts were not the first ones to make s'mores, Girl Scout groups describe them in their reports as early as 1925. Earlier recipes used the name Some S'mores or Some Mores. Oh, reading is fundamental. S'mores. It's unclear when the word s'mores became the more common name. Today, many variations of the original s'more find their way around the campfire. Delicious. And, of course, finally, it's National Lazy Day. And it's the only thing I can explain or can think of that all the equipment has been failing is that it just wants to recognize National Lazy Day. All my equipment just wants to be lazy, like the rest of us today. On August 10th, of course, National Lazy Day gives us permission to relax and kick back, so we're going to be a bit lazy here. As you can see, there's not much information regarding this annually celebrated holiday, as we don't feel like doing any research. Actually, we don't feel like doing anything at all. Consequently, we're in our hammocks with a couple of good books, glasses of lemonade, and iced tea. Yes, it's a lazy day. I choose to be lazy rather than to tell much more about this day. Funny. National Lazy Day is actually the theme and topic of our podcast, Jams and Cocktails podcast, later on this evening, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, and of course, JNC Radio on the Live365 Radio App. We're also going to give it the old college try over on Facebook again, if only to serve as a way to try to get or convert those Facebook people over to YouTube subscribers. Steal them away steal them away from Facebook grips of death. Really against Facebook these days. I did see that they put back, when you create events over there, they did put back the option for music and audio. But there was a solid day where they completely eliminated that category, and you have to choose a category. I would like to see categories for podcasts or categories for radio or talk or anything like that. But no, most of the time we have to choose music, audio, or party. Sometimes I do health and wellness, which I think is hilarious, but fun nonetheless. Philip said he'll be tuning in tonight for jammies and cocktails. That's completely right. It is jammies and cocktails. Yeah, that's a riot. We are having a lazy day pajama party on the podcast tonight. So I have some fun games for our crew here to play, and it's gonna be overall. I think it's just gonna be a fun time. So I'm sad that we missed the podcast last week. I was not feeling well, and our guest had just finished the first leg of their tour, so he was gracious enough to say we could use the rest. We're good. So we were rescheduling with Ricky B, and we'll bring that podcast to you another time. But it was I hated missing the show, but it was I also really enjoyed the rest to get me over that hump. So I think I'm almost completely out of the woods in terms of feeling under the weather. So it's good. Is good. Yeah, when we're gonna take a break here. When we come back, I got some fun news stories for you. Some interesting things to talk about this morning. And you are listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show. Here's one from Patrick Coles, featuring Summer Gill. This is High Above. We'll see you in just a few.
a chance to live like this. Wear your heart out on your sleeve. Say what comes, but only with love. Tell the truth no matter what the cost, and never, ever, ever give up. We don't know how much time we have. No better time than now to love and give. Don't miss a chance to share a smile, a chance to stay for just a little while, a second chance to change your life. Don't miss a chance to be a friend, someone who's there to lend a hand, a second chance to change your life. Don't miss a chance to live like this. Don't ever miss. Don't miss a chance to share a smile, a chance to stay for just a little while, a second chance to change your life. Don't miss a chance to be a friend, someone who's there to understand, a second chance to change your life. Don't miss a chance to live. Don't miss a chance to live. Don't ever miss a chance to live like this. Like this.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show.
Now that everything's been said.
All right. Yeah, well, that was, pardon me, Monique McCall with her latest single, Second Chance. Thanks for tuning in to Jams and Coffee here in the morning on YouTube and JNC Radio via the Live365 app. Appreciate you tuning in live with me today. Some news stories. This is an update to a story that we talked about a day or two ago. Anne Heche remains in critical condition as police continue to investigate her car crash in L.A. She plowed her car into a residence on Friday, according to a new representative for the actress. Over the weekend, a representative stated that Anne was in stable condition, but that information was inaccurate. She has always remained in critical condition, slipping into a coma following the accident. A spokesperson for Heche told CNN in a statement on Monday she has a significant pulmonary injury requiring mechanical ventilation and burns that require surgical intervention. She's currently being treated at the Grossman Burn Center. Earlier on Monday, CNN reported that Heche is under investigation for misdemeanor DUI and hit and run. According to the LAPD, investigators obtained a warrant for a blood draw on the day of the incident, and they're still awaiting those results. Once the investigation is complete, the case will be referred to the LA City Attorney's Office. Heche's representative told CNN that she has not been able to meet with investigators yet as a result of her injuries, obviously. Meantime, friends of the woman whose home was destroyed in the crash say she narrowly escaped physical harm. Lynn Michelle was inside her residence when Heche crashed into her home and fire broke out, officials told CNN. Neighbors John and Jennifer Durand have started a GoFundMe for Michelle to help her rebuild her life. And the description for the fundraiser, the Durands state that Michelle lost everything except for a few damaged sentimental belongings. Lynn lives with her beautiful pups Bree and Reuben and tortoise Marley in the Mar Vista home that she was destroyed this week by a car driving into the home at a high rate of speed, catching the house on fire, the GoFundMe states. Lynn and her family very, very narrowly escaped physical harm, and for that, we're very, very grateful. The home, however, was completely burned. Roy Morgan, another neighbor of Michelle, told a CNN affiliate that Haish's car stopped about 2 feet away from where she was sitting. She was pretty lucky, Morgan said to Michelle. She's in shock. It still hasn't hit her yet. No pun intended, maybe. There's nothing left in the house. Everything was ruined. The GoFundMe states Lynn lost her entire lifetime of possessions, mementos, and all the equipment for her business. With firefighters' help, she was able to pull a few damaged sentimental belongings from the wreckage. Everything else is gone. Haish, of course, suffered severe burns and has a long recovery ahead, a source previously told CNN. Her team and her family are still trying to process what led up to the crash. It's a wild story. Of course, Anne Haish has had a troubled life, along with her immense filmography. She has outwardly talked about mental health, and there have been a few encounters that people have had with her over the years that have been less than normal, shall we say. So I hope that she pulls through and perhaps gets the help that she needs to move forward in her life. But that was just a little update of that story. Another story here, Serena Williams, tennis legend Serena Williams, announces that she will, quote, evolve away from tennis after the upcoming U.S. Open. Wants to focus on other things that are important to her. In an article in Vogue, the 23-time Grand Slam winner said that although she'll try to win at the U.S. Open, it is time for her to move, quote, in a different direction. She said there comes a time in life when we have to decide to move in a different direction. Williams posted on an Instagram with a picture of herself on the cover of Vogue with the title, Serena's Farewell. I'm terrible at goodbyes. That time is always hard when you love something so much. My goodness, I do enjoy tennis, but now the countdown has begun. I have to focus on being a mom, my spiritual goals, and finally discovering a different but just exciting Serena. I'm going to relish the next few weeks. The announcement comes a day after the 40-year-old won her first singles match in 430 days. She played her first singles match in over a year at Wimbledon in June, losing to France's Harmony Tan. Afterwards, she hinted that she could play on home soil at the U.S. Open, which begins August 29th, just later this month. However, in the article, Williams said, I've never liked the word retirement. It doesn't feel like a modern word to me. I've been thinking of this as a transition, but I want to be sensitive about how I use that word, which means something very specific and important to a community of people. Maybe the best word to describe what I'm up to is evolution. I'm here to tell you that I'm evolving away from tennis towards things that are important to me. She continued, unfortunately, I wasn't ready to win Wimbledon this year. I don't know if I will be ready to win New York, but I'm going to try. Since losing her professional debut in September 1995, Williams has become the most dominant force in women's tennis in the last 30 years. Together with her older sister Venus, the Williams sisters transformed the sport, making a regular habit of winning Grand Slams in both singles and doubles tennis. At the time of writing, Serena has won 73 career singles titles, 23 doubles titles, and 2 mixed doubles titles, which include 39 Grand Slam titles, 23 singles titles, 14 doubles titles, and 2 mixed doubles titles. She is 1 singles Grand Slam title behind the all-time record held by Australian Margaret Court. And asked by CNN's Christiane Amanpour earlier this year if she'd Still wanted to beat Court's record. She replied, I should have had it. Really, I should. I've had many opportunities to have it, but I'm not giving up. To answer your question. She addressed this later in Vogue, saying, I know there's a fan fantasy that I might have tied Margaret that day in London, then maybe beat her record in New York, and then at the trophy ceremony say, see ya. I get that. It's a good fantasy, but I'm not looking for some ceremonial final on-court moment. I'm terrible at goodbyes. The world's worst, she says. A four-time Olympic gold medalist has won over $94.5 million in career prize money, more than any other female athlete. Away from the court, Williams announced her engagement to Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian back in 2016, giving birth to her daughter Alexis Olympia Ohanian Jr. And focusing on her young family as well as her interests away from tennis is why she's deciding to step away from the game. She has changed forever. Believe me, I never wanted to have to choose between tennis and a family. I don't think it's fair, Williams explained. If I were a guy, I wouldn't be writing this because I'd be out there playing and winning while my wife was doing the physical labor of expanding our family. Maybe I'd be more of a Tom Brady if I had that opportunity. Don't get me wrong. I love being a woman, and I loved every second of being pregnant with Olympia. I was one of those annoying women who adored being pregnant and was working until the day I had to report to the hospital. Although things got super complicated on the other side, and I almost did do the impossible, a lot of people don't realize that I was 2 months pregnant when I won the Australian Open in 2017. And I'm turning 41 this month, and something's got to give. The star also admitted she doesn't like to think about her legacy. She said, I get asked about it a lot, and I never know exactly what to say, but I'd like to think that thanks to opportunities afforded to me, women athletes feel that they could be themselves on the court. They could play with aggression and pump their fists. They could be strong yet beautiful. They can wear what they want and say what they want and kick butt and be proud of it all. Over the years, I hope that people come to think of me as symbolizing something bigger than tennis. That's a big announcement. Serena Williams announcing that she will be evolving away from tennis after the U.S. Open. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. And it's accurate to say that she changed the face of not just women's tennis, but tennis overall and the sports world as a whole. Crazy to think about. A world of tennis without Serena Williams. Venus is still out there, I believe, doing her thing. We're going to take a quick music break. When we come back, a woman discovers her apartment was broken into and the intruder was still inside. But there's a twist. There always is. When we come back on Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in just a few.
Feels like I'm going crazy, thinking of you but the bliss of your kiss, but the bliss of your kiss, but the bliss of your kiss.
JP Soers and the Red Hots. Thanks for tuning in here to Jams and Coffee in the Morning on YouTube and JNC Radio on the Live 365 app. Before we get into the next story, I need to get your opinion on something, you guys. Jordan laughed at me, but I think this is revolutionary. Perhaps not for the world, but for myself. We have a Robellini palm out in our front yard, and as with many of our plants, our plant life in the front of the house, it suffered a infection of some sort, which has caused it to have some problems, some growth problems. So while my good friend Dave brought us some fertilizer packets to put in the plants to help it come back to life. Many Robellinis, because they are cultivated together, they grow multiple trunks. Well, ours has 3. 2 of them have made a pretty significant comeback, and one not so much. What do? You cut it down? You make it look like a weirdo tree? Well, I had a different idea. And we'll see how this pans out, of course, because it seems a little ridiculous, but I want to get your opinion. So I found this on the internet. And it's a Robellini palm, like a synthetic Robellini palms. They look pretty good. They look pretty good. So it's got this little anchor here. So I'm thinking about it, the dead trunk, about somehow figuring out how to fasten this to the top of the tree, and then never ever have to worry about plant death again. It looks pretty good. So I think I may get out there today and see what exactly can be done. There's no saving the trunk of this palm, by the way. I would never do this if I thought that there was any way to bring this thing back to life. But we've really tried several things, and nothing seems to work or be working for that particular trunk of the Robellini tree. This looks pretty good. I mean, it's even close up, obviously on the screen here, it looks wonderful, but even close up, like they did a pretty good job of the coloring. It's not all completely green. It's not all the same color. We're gonna give it the old college try. I'll take some photographs, post them on our social media, on Instagram and the like, and see what you think. Yeah, Philip said do it, so I'm going to take that advice and do it. Jordan's, I believe, is listening on the Live 365 app, so she can't chime in to say no. Philip says we want some palms around our patio, metal, fiberglass, or plastic. Just want lights on them. I was skeptical. I was not sure the quality of product I was getting. And if you get a little too close to it, you could certainly see that it is a synthetic brand, but it's nice. It's plastic. Seems to be a PVC type material that they made with it, which is great for outside. I was concerned that they were going to arrive and be some sort of silk product that would deteriorate probably very quickly. But this seems to be pretty strong, pretty well-to-do for an outdoor purpose. So we'll see. We'll see how it looks and if it's even feasible. I just wanted to get a little feedback in there before I go and give it a shot. Before we went to the break, we were talking about a woman that discovered that her apartment was broken into and the intruder was still inside. Scary stuff. This just isn't any ordinary intruder. A Wisconsin woman notified authorities after discovering signs of a break-in at her apartment complex. Doris Madden said after noticing the window of a second-story apartment had been broken, we had no idea what had caused it or if anybody was even home. That's when Madden notified the apartment complex's management, and then the police were notified. Madden said they went into the apartment, and when he opened the door, gobble, gobble, there was the turkey. And so he thought, I'm not going to try to catch that thing. We called the police station for animal control. The wild turkey was removed when officers wore long, heavy gloves to keep from getting scratched. They used a fishing net to help out. Madden said, I think it's kind of funny. I'm just glad it wasn't my apartment. How about that? Turkey burglar. What else is going on in the world? Probably something terrible. No, I'm just kidding. There is an interesting story I found. Astronomers, pardon me, are planning to fish an interstellar meteorite out of the ocean using a massive magnet. They're planning a fishing trip to land an extraterrestrial interloper on Earth. A small meteorite from another star system crashed into the Pacific Ocean with the energy equivalent to about 121 tons of TNT. A team from Harvard University hopes to find fragments of this interstellar rock known as CNOS 2014-0108, which slammed into Earth, you might have guessed, on January 8th, 2014. Amir Siraj, a astrophysicist at Harvard University and the first author of a new paper published on the non-peer-reviewed preprint service Arziv, we'll call it that, on CNOS 2014-0108, told Live Science in an email finding such a fragment would represent the first contact humanity has ever had with material larger than dust from beyond the solar system. Siraj identified the object's interstellar origin in a 2019 study with a 99.999% confidence. But it wasn't until May of 2022 that it was confirmed to Siraj by the U.S. Space Command. Now, there are no known witnesses to the object striking Earth. It struck the atmosphere about 100 miles off the coast of Papua New Guinea. Papua? That's a fun word. In the middle of the night with about 1% the energy of the Hiroshima bomb, Siraj said, measuring just 1.5 feet wide. The meteorite now appears to have been the first interstellar object ever discovered in our solar system. Previously, an oblong object called the Oumuamua. Oumuamua. Write that one down, you guys. Oumuamua held that title. That was discovered in 2017 during the Pan-Star Sky Survey. The space rock zipped through our solar system at nearly 57,000 miles per hour. Later, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, a colleague of Siraj, claimed it might be an alien machine. Oumuamua's discovery was followed in 2019 by comet Tuai-Borzov, the first interstellar comet, which was spotted by amateur astronomer Gennady Borzov in Crimea. The meteorite is thought to be from another star system because it was traveling at 37.2 miles per second, relative to the sun, of course. And that's too fast for it to be bound by the sun's gravity. Siraj said at the Earth's distance from the sun, any object traveling faster than about 42 kilometers or 26 miles per second is on an unbounded hyperbolic escape trajectory relative to the sun. This means that the meteorite was clearly exceeding the local speed limit for bound objects. It didn't cross paths with any other planets along the way, so it must have originated from outside the solar system. Now, cut to Siraj and Loeb's Galileo project, a $1.6 million expedition to lower a magnet similar in dimensions to a king-size bed at 1.3 degrees south, 147.6 degrees east, the U.S. Department of Defense's location of the meteorite's resting spot. It's about 186 miles north of Manus Island, the Bismarck Sea, in the southwest Pacific Ocean. The meteorite greatly exceeded the material strength of a typical iron meteorite, which should make it even easier to recover. According to Siraj, material strength refers to how easily something can resist being deformed or damaged by a load. Most meteorites contain enough iron that they'll stick to the type of magnet they plan to use for the ocean expedition. Given its extremely high material strength, it's very likely that the fragments of the meteorite are ferromagnetic. Leaving from New Guinea, the Galileo project ship would use a magnetic sled on a long-line winch, which will be towed along the seabed at 1 mile for 10 days. It's hoped the magnet can recover tiny fragments of the meteorite, measuring as small as 0.004 inches across. However, it's unclear when the astronomers will be able to mount their expedition. The Galileo project already has $500,000 committed, with a further $1.1 million required to make it a reality. That's good value compared to the space mission, according to Siraj. The alternative way to study an interstellar object at close range is by launching a space mission to a future object passing through the Earth's neighborhood, says Siraj. With Loeb is also working out details of such a mission. Should another object like I can't say it. Lazy Day. National Lazy Day. Ooh, mau mau. Ooh, mau mau. Appear in the solar system. But anyway, that would be 1,000 times more expensive at about $1 billion. So, interesting find. They're going to go dig some shit up. Sounds like a plan. Local news here on the Treasure Coast. Law enforcement officials are asking for help in finding a man accused of robbing a U.S. Postal Service letter carrier of a special key, possibly as part of a larger identity theft and fraud scheme. Officials said on Tuesday the incident happened about 12:19 p.m. on August 6th in Fort Pierce, near the Manatee Mobile Home and RV Park. The U.S. Postal Inspector Ivan Ramirez said a man brandished a gun. The person robbed was a uniformed U.S. Postal Service worker in a U.S. Postal Service marked vehicle. There's no mistaking who you're actually robbing, Ramirez said. Yeah, said the accused robber made off with a key that accessed a panel box or a central area of mailboxes for an apartment complex or a similar facility. The reason for them wanting these keys is these are the folks that are basically just proliferating identity theft, Ramirez said. He said the individuals steal a person's identity for places such as a medical provider, school, or online, and they'll redirect or apply for benefits or credit and have that mail shipped or mailed to sent to these addresses where they now have a key, Ramirez says. What they're after is a key for them to be able to expand their network of identity theft fraud schemes. He said in such groups, a number of people tend to be involved. Someone steals identities, someone gets online, someone applies, someone commits the act of robbery. They're not a one-man band or a one-lady band, he said. Like me. According to the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, the accused robber is described as a black male, about 5 feet 8 inches, and of skinny build. He's about 150 pounds, and his hair was in small dreadlocks and or braids. He wore a white T-shirt partially covering his face and dark pants. He fled and may have entered a small red vehicle. Ramirez said officials suspect crimes like this are not a smash and grab type burglary or a crime of opportunity. These we believe are little more rehearsed or methodical. I know exactly who these folks are, Ramirez said. He said the keys are highly controlled items that belong to the U.S. Postal Service. They were removed from a vault and signed out each morning and locked in the vault every evening at the end of a shift. He said the reported victim in this case is a federal employee performing their duties. Those responsible could face federal fines and federal charges. They're willing to do that to a federal employee that is protected and backed by the U.S. By U.S. codes. Then who's to say these folks are not brazen enough to do it to anyone else? Ramirez said. According to the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, letter carriers were also robbed. July 13th in Fort Pierce and May 26th also in Fort Pierce. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service is offering up to a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for this. So, wild stuff, man. That's bold. That's bold. That's federal time. Bold. We'll take another music break. When we come back, we're going to talk about our celebrity birthdays today and get into some music news, and we'll probably jump right into our top 10 list after that. Thank you so much for tuning in to Jams and Coffee in the Morning. We'll be right back. Cheers.
When the song is done, it's time to go. When the song is done, it's time to go. This long, living life this way. Oh, don't you know? When the song is done, it's time to go. Oh, I'm amazed. I've lived this long, living life this way. Oh, don't you know? When the song is done, it's time to go. When the song is done, it's time to go.
All right, that was a little tune from yours truly. The song's done, it's time to go. Now, where the hell is Paul, Philip? I feel like we're missing somebody here. I'm sure he has a perfectly fine excuse. We got some celebrity birthdays today from the Kardashian clan. Kylie Jenner turning 25 years old today. Mama June. Those of you that remember Mama June from Toddlers and Tiaras, and then, of course, later on, Honey Boo Boo, her daughter Honey Boo Boo. Mama June is 43 years old. She's been known to moonlight around the Treasure Coast area. Mama June sightings around here over the last few years. Antonio Banderas is turning 62 years old today. Jake Stone, who you may know as the Jake from State Farm actor. Funny that his name actually is Jake. I love that. He's turning 37 years old today. And actress Angie Harmon is turning 50 years old today. Hard to believe. She still looks great. So happy birthday to yous guys out there. Katy Perry is attributing some of her success as an artist and footwear designer to the financial obstacles she faced growing up. The hitmaker's shoe line Katy Perry Collections shared a video of the star serving as a keynote speaker of the Project show in Las Vegas, where she opened up about her childhood. She said, "When I was 13, I was growing up with limited resources," she began. "My family didn't have a whole hell of a lot. Sometimes we even had food stamps. To help get by, Katie said her family depended on the offerings from her church. To further help her family, she would sing for donations. She also sang at the local farmers market to raise money, joking she'd earn about $20 and 2 avocados. I work at a local farmers market. She should have hit me up had I got her a gig." The American Idol judge reflected on how that impacted her creativity and sense of style. Katie said she would shop for clothes at secondhand stores on a shoestring budget. She said, "I'd go thrifting all the time," she explained, adding that she trained her eye to locate stylish items that would suit her. But because she was rifling through clothes from the 40s and to the 60s, Katie remarked, "I started dressing like a pinup girl when I was 13 years old, which was interesting." However, Katie said that that's what allowed her to cultivate her own style and stand out in a unique way. She wasn't wearing the latest trends like other girls her age. Katie also reflected fondly on a pair of Dalmatian-shaped flats that she bought in a thrift store, which earned her compliments from strangers. She said of the attention, "That was such a big deal. I would wear them everywhere." Katie says those are the flats that started my love for shoes, and of course, the rest is history. How about that? Philip said we should make a segment, Where the Hell is Paul? I agree. I'm writing that down. Because that should be a segment. Where the hell is Paul? WTH is Paul. Do you want to be more productive while working from home? I sure do. Guess what? Listening to Taylor Swift will help. Do you want to know why? Because I'm going to tell you. If you like many others working from home because of the ongoing pandemic scares and find yourself struggling to be productive, you should listen to more Taylor Swift music. A new study from Voices looked into the kinds of music that shakes the most motivation back into remote workers, and songs by Taylor were found to be the most effective. They based their findings on the Spotify API, which tracks what artists are being featured in what kind of playlists based off of keywords. Taylor was the artist most commonly found in playlists using keywords like focus and work. As for her most popular work-from-home songs, the survey suggests that the Taylor's version of the Red and Fearless albums are taking up the most real estate in people's playlists. Harry Styles is the second most popular work-from-home artist, while Ed Sheeran comes in third. Rounding out the top five, respectively, are The Weeknd and Rihanna. When it comes to who has the most popular work-from-home songs, the honor goes to Harry. His singles, As It Was, Watermelon Sugar, and Golden, are respectively in first, second, and fourth place. Glass Animals' Heat Waves comes in third. So why is pop music better to listen to than classical or jazz music? Well, apparently, peppy lyrics are pretty effective at dragging people out of the work-from-home doldrums. The study adds those working from home are turning to more energetic music to soundtrack their day. Research has already backed up claims that listening to music during a task boosts one's happiness, creativity, and efficiency. Apparently, while lyrics are viewed as distracting in some settings, the research finds working from home is a little more monotonous. So listening to someone singing helps break up the static. And I get that. I would, many moons ago, my first introduction to talk radio was when I was delivering pizzas up in the Orlando area. And I was getting just so tired. This is back, of course, before the days of streaming and choosing whatever music you want. You either had what CDs you had burned and stashed away in your little CD book, or you had the radio, which became almost painful to listen to after hours of sitting in the car driving around delivering those delicious circular cheese pies. So somebody recommended listening to talk radio to break up the monotony, because it's always something different. It's new content. It's people saying different things. It's not repetitious. And I was hooked. Love talk radio. Look at me now. Here we are producing some talk radio. Yeah. What are your favorite things to do working from home, or you prefer listening to music? Talk radio, podcast is now a big thing. A lot of people listen to podcasts while they're working. What do you do out there? While you think and ponder on that, there's an update to another story that we talked about yesterday. Doja Cat, of course, making news yesterday for shaving her head and her eyebrows. She's letting fans know in her latest that her latest stunt, shaving her head and eyebrows, is not a cry for help. She took to Instagram Live to let her followers know she is happy to be hair-free. Her fan account recorded the video and shared highlights on Twitter. Doja declared, "I'm rich, I'm fine. The whole quote-unquote, are you okay, queens? Shit makes me want to rip the hair that I guess I have left out." She clarified that she means the hair on her private parts, but hinted that that is also heading out the door because just like the hair she had on her head, she absolutely hates it. Doja is also unhappy that having hair is seen as a sign of health. People think that for some reason I'm not well because I don't have hair on my face or head. It's just a wild fucking world, she exclaimed. Shaving my head made me feel really good. Doja Cat has been expressing herself through her eyebrows by drawing them on and using little fun designs like hearts to make them pop. She also said shaving her head has shown her who her true fans are, adding that those who suddenly don't like her aren't worth it. Nothing changed, I just have no hair, the Grammy winner quipped. She also added in another Instagram live video that she finds her new look sexy. Doja shaved her hair last week and revealed that she never enjoyed having hair because it was so tiresome to maintain. While she swears she's fine, fans have been comparing her to Britney Spears, who infamously shaved her head back in 2007 as she was grappling with her own mental health. So, do with that information as you please. How do you get that bored? Is really the question. Is she so bored that that's what she's or is it genuine? Does she just have some sort of hair phobia? Just doesn't want it? I don't know. And I'm not sure that I want to know. But I would listen. I would listen. Anyway, you crazy people, let's get into our JNC Top 10 list. Here we go. I'm going to give you today 10 ways that technology has destroyed privacy. Everybody's entitled to the right of privacy, right? It's a fundamental human right that falls under the first generation human right, except with technology, it's not. Today, there's a lot of controversy surrounding privacy because its definition varies globally. Technology has many benefits, but it hasn't helped on this front. If anything, its development has further brought confusion in understanding privacy as a fundamental human right. Widespread security issues continue to undermine the protection of privacy. We need constant control and surveillance of what happens in this world. Given the many benefits of technology, privacy is often overlooked despite its significance. Now, here we look at 10 ways technology has destroyed privacy. First on the list, thanks to technology, you can now use your eyes, fingers, or face for identification. Biometric scanners are undoubtedly fast, convenient, and almost secure. Apart from unlocking your phone, checking into your workspace, and gaining access to designated areas, people continue to find ways of leveraging the services provided by biometric scanners. For instance, some hotels and fast foods use biometric scanners to scan their customers' faces and tell who made their order first and what they ordered. This may seem like a normal act for unsuspecting customers and another convenient technological advancement. However, if a system can identify you based on your past movements, it shows that it can store short-term or long-term data. What happens to the stored data? Well, it's true that there are policies and regulations set barring companies from using the information and data they obtain from their customers illegally. You cannot always trust people like that. As much as they help, biometric scanners remain one of the biggest privacy threats to unsuspecting users. Number 9. You ever heard of lawful interception? Yes, it's just as fishy as it sounds. Lawful interception allows law enforcement to eavesdrop on users of communication networks, provided they have the mandate to do so. This means a government agent can walk into a mobile network carrier and demand access to the channel and supporting data. With these, the agent can listen to conversations of the people of interest without their knowledge. While this technology can help solve crimes, it can be exploited if people with the wrong intentions gain access to it, and they mostly do. Imagine sitting in your house talking to the love of your life, talking about all the things that even the walls must not hear, only to notice that a third party is listening to your conversation. Alexa. Or you're passing critical information to a colleague or partner, only for someone else to tap your discussion. Google. Many people lost their properties and money through these voice interception apps. Facebook. Mobile phones are perfect for communication, but users should know they risk privacy breaches while on them. Number 8 on this list, the internet doesn't forget. Nor is it ever full. Showbiz celebrities have mostly been on the end of internet data and document leaks. However, this is only so because of their status and positions they assume in the community. Many people have seen pictures, videos, or audio they would rather keep to themselves leak online and away from their control. Cases of bitter exes exposing the nudity of their once partners continue to rock the internet today. Before the massive technological advancements, intimate partners, leaders, and influential people did not have the internet to worry about. At this point, they would square it out alone without airing their dirty linen in public if anyone had a problem with anybody. Undoubtedly, technology has improved communication along with other aspects of life, but in doing so, it has put most people in the mercies of other people just to avoid having their private documents, pictures, audios, or videos surfacing online. The most devastating part is that it's very easy to leak content online that it almost goes untraced. Once it's there, it's never truly deleted. So be careful. Number 7 on this list. It makes me hungry. Have you ever been browsing the internet and started seeing emails or adverts prompting you to buy or subscribe to a newsletter similar to the content you've been surfing? For instance, if you are looking for the latest models of your preferred TV brand, you immediately start seeing ads for the best TV offers. Well, this is not entirely bad. How do the advertisers know your interests? Simple. The answer is cookies. The answer is always cookies. Just write that down. Anytime you have to think about the answer to a question, it's cookies. But I digress. When you visit a website and it asks you to allow or reject cookies, the page owner is simply seeking permission to monitor your online activities. The question remains, what more information do cookies collect? In fact, there are some pages you can't browse without accepting the cookies. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you accept cookies? Feels like trading your privacy for something else. Delicious cookies. Number 6. Zoom has become one of the most popular teleconferencing platforms. As of late, it gained its fame when most people were required to work from home. To be fair, it helps colleagues to communicate effectively and keep companies in line with their goals. However, as you know, there is a price for everything. For this and similar apps, the price is your privacy, of course. So many embarrassing cases have been witnessed since these teleconferencing apps became a thing. For instance, a respectable family member and company might be busy addressing their colleague, only for a family member to start twerking half naked in the background, not knowing that the camera is on. And such as a case, it's no one's fault. One has to work and the other has to live their best life at home, of course. Number 5 on our list today, GPS is an acronym, of course, for Global Positioning System. Given that it's available globally and is powered by world satellites, people rely on it to travel anywhere they want. GPS is the modern-day directory, only that it is more advanced, and anyone with a smart device can use it. We go on all day about the benefits of this system and still not exhaust them. However, our concern comes in when privacy is thrown out the window. When using your smartphone, it's normal to see a prompt asking you, App X wants to access your location, and you wonder why. Usually, authorities use GPS to locate people of interest and track their movements. In the same spirit, malicious people can tap their victims' smart devices and follow them wherever. and even track their cars and other automobiles with simple GPS trackers. Simply put, GPS and privacy do not go together. Number 4 on the list, internet service providers, popularly known as ISPs, provide customers with an internet connection at a cost. The clients then use the internet provided to surf, work, or entertain themselves, but not without the watchful eye of the ISPs. Unsurprisingly, you can visit one site and are told you can't access it while your internet connection is on and working on other platforms. That's probably because your ISP has blocked you from accessing it. They can tell your IP address and see the sites you visit. Who's to say they can't access your private information if they want to? Unfortunately, to leverage the full feature of technology, it's almost inevitable that we have to give up some degree of our privacy. Number 3, remote desktop applications such as TeamViewer and AnyDesk have become extremely useful, especially after the pandemic rocked the world. They allow you to access your computer remotely, providing a good internet connection exists. This way, colleagues can work remotely, or you can access vital files and documents even if you do not have your device with you. As expected, you must give up some privacy for these applications to function optimally. For instance, if you pair your computer with a colleague's for work purposes, the other person can access and alter most of the features in your computer, including those that are not work-related. Even if the person you are working with pretended not to have seen something on your computer, they would have. Number 2, audio recorders are one of the biggest privacy invaders in the history of technological developments. People have had conversations with their peers or family members that they thought were confidential, only for them to find what they said in the wrong hands or rooms. The Johnny Depp Amber Heard debacle comes to mind. All those audio recordings came out in their trial. Sound recorders were initially created to help journalists record news and businesses attend to their customers. However, as time passed, malicious people discovered they could use these devices to extort or threaten their victims. The rapid technological developments now allow some communication applications, such as WhatsApp, to record and send voice notes. However, the recordings have often landed in the wrong hands, causing embarrassment and untold trouble for the owners. The recorded voice is different than face-to-face conversations in many aspects. And number 1 on our top 10 list of ways that technology have eliminated privacy, and of course, the most significant culprit is social media. As it stands, over 4.2 billion people worldwide use different social media platforms, with all demanding that users give up some level of their privacy. The minimum requirement is an email address or a mobile phone number, but there's no limit to how much of your privacy they can invade. For example, Facebook, fuckers. They allow users to upload their pictures, post videos, and comment on other people's posts. While this might seem harmless, most users usually do not realize that it becomes easier to track by providing personal details. The more they post, the more they throw away their privacy. The sad bit is that once something appears on social media, it can never be deleted, even if you get the illusion that you have done so. There's always a way through which someone can retrieve your shared content. The bottom line is that social media has no privacy. You can only limit how much you give away. So just be careful out there if you're a private person, unlike myself. Just be careful what you're doing out there on social media and other various ways to give up your privacy. And that is the JNC Top 10 list. How about that? Thanks for listening. Just got a few shameless plugs before I let you get on with your day. Of course, tonight is the Jams and Cocktails live podcast, 8 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and JNC Radio on the Live365 app. It's our Jammies and Cocktails party, as Philip coined. So we will be having for National Lazy Day, we'll be throwing a pajama party. We got some fun games that we're going to be playing We got some juicy news from Jordy and the Jordy Files. I'm sure Ellie will come up with something to talk about in her Bad Bitch Bible Study segment. Really stoked about some of the games to play tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. So tune into that. You'll be seeing posts about it all day long. Jams and Cocktails live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be good to be back. I know I yammer on and on about it, but go and check out the Live365 Radio App. It's completely free. You'll find JNC Radio on there. Just give that a search, JNC Radio. It'll pop right up, add us to your favorites. You'll listen to great music all day long, including great independent local music from here on the Treasure Coast and just beyond. You get to hear this show in the morning or the podcasts at night, and other content is coming soon there for the radio station. So go check that out. It's completely free wherever you get your apps from. Of course, Paul's not in the chats today, but do go and check out his podcast, Drums and Rums. If you are into drums or into rums or into both, it's a really a great quality podcast. He's a interesting, unique interviewer, and he really digs into some of these wonderful guests that he has on his podcast. It's a great listen, so check him out. And of course, his live stream, the biggest happy hour and a half hour, comes on 8 o'clock on Thursdays. So check that out as well. If you are a rum fan, please check out my friend Johnny Ringo's Code Rum. Delicious rums made right here in South Florida. So, also something I haven't mentioned in a while, but I'm going to mention it. There's a couple GoFundMe pages up for some local musicians here on the Treasure Coast suffering from cancer. Jonathan Cummings, a wonderful, wonderful singer and guitarist and drummer, in fact, musician all around. He made it through his chemo treatments, but still has a long way to go. So his GoFundMe is up. I'll put it in the. I'll put a link to it on our social media. Again, so be sure to if you have anything to spare, that you hook him up. He's a wonderful man, and as I mentioned, still has a long way to go. Still has some follow-ups post-treatment. Make sure that they got everything, but he's doing well and he's hanging in there. But he could definitely use some help. So I'll put that link up there, and then another local musician here, Glenn Whalen, was just recently diagnosed with cancer and is about to embark on his treatment journey as well. So he's going to need some help moving forward. So he has a GoFundMe page up as well. As I mentioned, I will put links to both of those on our social media, Facebook page, and whatnot. If you're feeling generous and want to help our music community, that would be wonderful. So I think that just about wraps that up. I appreciate you guys hanging with me this morning. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. Of course, I'll see you back here tonight for the Jams and Cocktails live podcast, and of course tomorrow morning for the recap. Right back here on Jams and Coffee. Enjoy your Wednesday. Have the laziest day ever. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news, and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.